Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name of course is Resonant, and a lot of you gave a lot of good feedback about the last Bannerlord build video. Now of course that was a £400 build video, or about $550, and you asked for more expensive ones that you could play Mount & Blade Bannerlord at medium to high settings at about 1080p. Now like I said in the last one, we don't know any of the specs for Bannerlord. So this is just speculations on how it's going to run from looking at the gameplay we've already seen in games that are like it. So yeah, this is going to be a more about £500 build, maybe about $600 I would say. I think this one will be able to run Bannerlord pretty well. This is probably the sweet spot for budget Bannerlord builds. But yeah, let's get right into the build. Starting with the CPU, last time we went with an AMD CPU. This time we are going with the Intel Core i3-6100. This is at 3.7 GHz and is a dual core processor, and I think this is the new Skylake Intel processors, so dual core will be absolutely fine for Bannerlord, I'm thinking. This is a very powerful i3 processor, and yeah, it'll be a really good all-round one. This is definitely better than the 6300 that I showed you guys in the last build. Because it's Intel, there's more power per core. It does have less cores, but more power per core. So if Mount & Blade Bannerlord is going to be more CPU intensive, this is going to be a really good one to go with, and it pairs really well with the graphics card we've gone with. So yeah, we've gone with a more powerful graphics card, but it's still a very powerful Core i3. If you guys have any other ideas for maybe an AMD counterpart for this, I'd love to hear your comments down below. But this is the Intel Core i3-6100 that I've gone with, and I think it'll be perfect for medium to high settings on Mount & Blade Bannerlord. With the motherboard, we've gone with the Asus H110M A Micro ATX LGA 1151 motherboard. That is a bit of a mouthful to say, but it has everything we need. It has a lot of upgradability for more RAM in the future, but it also fits well with this chipset. Now it is the LGA 1151 chipset, which is perfect for this processor, and it has everything we need. It's quite cheap, it's at £50, which is quite cheap for on the motherboard, but it has everything we need, and Asus are a very reliable brand who make good gaming motherboards, so this is a good one to go with. Now like I said in the last one, the motherboard doesn't directly affect performance, but obviously getting a good motherboard with everything you need on it is very crucial, and that is what we've gone through here. Now for the memory, of course, we are going with the Kingston HyperX Fury Black. Now on the last one we went with one stick of 8GB, and this time I'm going with two sticks of 4GB. You can go with one stick of 8GB and then you'll have a lot more upgradability, because this motherboard supports up to 32GB of RAM, but I'm thinking two sticks of 4 will be absolutely fine for this. Obviously this is DDR4 memory, which is a lot faster than the DDR3 in the last build. This is the more modern kind of memory. DDR4 is coming into the modern market at the moment, so this is a really good bit of memory that you can get. Now Kingston is a very good brand, so I definitely recommend their memory sticks. Now you may have noticed we didn't go with a CPU cooler, probably because we probably won't be doing too much overclocking of this Intel Core. Don't really need a CPU cooler unless you're planning on doing insane overclocking, and Intel cores normally run a lot cooler as well than the AMD counterparts, so a CPU cooler won't be necessary. If you want to spend a bit more and get a CPU cooler, go ahead, but we're kind of trying to keep the price as low as possible, so that is why we're not getting one there. Now for the storage, once again we're going with a Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB 7200 internal hard drive. Now, like I said in the last one, Western Digital or Seagate make really nice internal hard drives. The 1TB will be plenty enough to store all your good stuff, so yeah, it's going to be pretty much perfect for what you need. Unless you want to do a lot of recording, I'd recommend getting a bigger hard drive, or maybe even an SSD for a boot drive if you want to boot really fast. But at the moment, this is the perfect hard drive for what we need it for, and it'll be able to store all your games, all your music, and everything else you want. Now, I did mention before we are going with a really good video card. Now, the new series of AMD video cards are the RX series, the 400 series. Now, we are going with the RX 470, which is an extremely good card. Now, this card is better than the 960, from what I have heard, which is a very good card as well. And it is actually not bad for the price, only £188. was pretty good for a card of this power. This is also a 4GB card, which means you'll be able to get all your textures up to the max, everything you kind of need. 4GB is enough video memory at the moment, and you'll be able to play it at really high settings. This video card is going to be absolutely amazing and is going to absolutely storm a Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord absolutely fine. So I definitely recommend this video card. You could also go with the GTX 960, but I'm thinking this one is probably a bit more, powerful, and of course is new technology, new architecture, so it's going to run a lot better than the 960. Now once again we're going with a Bitfenix case. They do make really good budget solid cases, and some people said that they like different cases like the Cooler Master cases, but I prefer Bitfenix just for personal preference on the designs. I think they look really cool, so we're going with the Bitfenix Nova ATX Mid Tower case, and it's a really nice white looking case. It will give you a really nice clean white build, and yeah, it looks really nice. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be a nice case you want to go with if you want a nice clean build. And you can choose other cases, obviously it doesn't matter too much, but it has USB 3.0 in the front and of course in the I/O in the back with your motherboard. But other than that, this is a really solid case to go with, and coming at a really cheap price of £26, which is very good for a case. But like I said, Bitfenix make really good, well built cases. And finally, the power supply. Now, a lot of you guys said in the last one that a power supply wasn't quite enough. Now, it was 430 watt, which is kind of pushing it a bit. And I kind of wanted to keep the price under £400 for that one, or around £400 for that one. So 430 watts was pushing it a bit for the last one. So you guys might, if you want to go and build the last one, you might want to upgrade that power supply a little bit. But this one should be absolutely fine. This is a 500 watt 80 plus bronze certified ATX power supply. This build only takes up about 350 watts, so 500 watts gives you a lot of headroom, which is really nice actually. So this is a really good choice for a power supply. Like I said, EVGA make really solid power supplies. ATX bronze certified basically means it runs more efficiently than just the 80 plus certified power supplies. So yeah, this is a really good choice to go with, and it's only 50 quid, so it's a really good cheap power supply, but very reliable as well. So that comes to about £500 or $600. And if you guys enjoyed that video, if it was helpful, remember to leave a like. But if you have any other ideas, stuff you could change out, just leave a comment down below and I will answer them as much as I can. If you guys have any other ideas, I'd really like to see your suggestions. But I will be doing the £700 Bannerlord PC build in the future. If you guys can't wait to see that, remember to subscribe to the channel for more builds on Bannerlord and more news on the upcoming Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord game. Remember to like the video, dislike it if you didn't like it, but until then, I will see you in the next one.